What's up, guys? Today we're talking about how to run properly for beginners. We're gonna give you 5 must-follow steps for strong, beautiful, long-lasting running. So when it comes to running better, to running properly, we have to start at the start. And that start is posture, it's position, it's the things our parents used to tell us at the dinner table to sit up straight. And they weren't saying that just so you could be this model child for their friends. They were actually secretly trying to improve you as an athlete, because if I am better aligned, pretty much everything mechanically works better. And conversely, if I lose that alignment, everything is thrown off, from my breathing to my arm swing to my ability to pick up my feet to my race photos don't look very good either, right? That's the deal. So we need to bring a little awareness to our posture throughout the day, and we just need to practice it. So this little first part is just to think about standing tall and what it means to stand tall. I'm gonna be as tall as I can be, and I want to think about drawing a line from my ear, my shoulder, my hip, my knee to my ankle, just to sort of think about that. What that means is that I'm not here on one hip, right? Like this, we wait around all the time. I'm not looking at my phone hunched over this way, and the other one is we're not arching our back this way, right? So these are all common areas where we start to break down, or we're doing them all at the same time. It can happen, trust me. We just want to be tall and connected this way. I don't want you to be a robot. You're not going to live like a robot the rest of your life, but you need to spend some time here, and you need to actively train in this position so that you can own it when you run. Because guess what? If you're here all day, this is what's going to default with your running. And 2 specific things we can think about is going to be our chin position and our hip position. And you may have seen this before, maybe not. It's a great little drill. You're going to take your middle finger and your thumb as a little base of the tripod. You're going to put it on your collarbone, which is this little bony guys right here. Your index finger is going to stick straight up. And this is just a nice convenient place to have your chin. So notice my chin is not forward. It's not tilted up. It's not to the side. It's not doing anything. My head is pretty quiet. That's the important thing there. The second thing with posture is going to be my hips. So just as we stand, I want you to think about squeezing your butt. If I squeeze my butt, that locks my pelvis into a pretty darn neutral, good position. And then I could think about actually screwing my feet into the ground. It adds something called external rotation at the hip, which is just a technical term, a way of stabilizing everything so that when I'm on one leg, I'm good to go. So posture is king. Bring some awareness to this. Think about being nice and aligned. I could draw some additional awareness by this little tripod right here, by screwing my feet into the ground and having strong, stable hips. If I can start to cultivate this in my daily life, I can carry this forward into my running itself. So once I've figured out this whole posture and alignment thing, the next thing I need to do is improve my ability to maintain that posture for longer periods of time. It's not just a matter of thinking about it, it's actually about training your body's ability to be strong and stable in those positions for longer periods of time. And that's where we talk about core strength, our ability to hold our spine in certain positions and hold that spine in position in a way where it's strong, it's connected, and it feels safe. So we're gonna do that with 2 exercises. They're simple, but it doesn't mean they're easy. We're gonna start with our hollow body, and we're gonna flip you over, and we're gonna work on our arch body. And really what this is, hey, what does my spine look like strong and a little bit of flexion? What does my spine look like strong and a little bit of extension? So I'm gonna start here. I'm gonna think about pressing this low back hard into the ground, and it's this low back that I really care about for actually both these exercises. In other words, I don't want this back to arch off. I wanna press it hard so I can actually feel that pressure. Now, what I'm gonna do next is just extend one leg. What I want you to imagine is this: my legs and my arms weigh a certain amount. The further they are away from here, the harder this has to work. So that's like adding weight to the bar. So step 1, no weight on the bar is here. Step 2, can I add a little bit of weight? Can I bring another arm back? Hey, can I stay strong and stable? Can I bring another arm back? Do I start to lose it? If I lose it, I'm gonna bring my arms in and fight here. Otherwise, I do this. If my neck is a little sore, I can put my head behind to support. Otherwise, I'm gonna live here. Can I go both arms and both legs out? And can I hold this for 30 seconds? That's what I wanna do. The more my arms and legs are extended, the lower it is. Oh man, the harder I have to work. But that's where I wanna live. Notice that when we're talking about core strength, we're also talking about tension in the system. So notice that my toes are pointed, my quads were flexed, everything was strong. No noodly legs, we don't want that, no mush. So now we're gonna go the other way with arch body. I'm flipped over, I'm on my stomach, and a lot of times we see the Superman where it's common for athletes to just pick their arms and legs up and just to arch. But what happens is I'm arching in a way where I'm just hinging at the low back, putting all this pressure here, and I'm not doing all the support I need to support. So what I wanna do instead is this. My arms are gonna extend. The first thing I'm gonna do is squeeze my belly. I'm gonna make this an ab exercise. The second thing I'm gonna do is gonna squeeze my butt and push my hips into the ground. And if I squeeze my belly and my butt tight, that locks my pelvis in and really protects that low back. So now I can safely go into extension in a much stronger position. From here, I'm gonna pull my legs about 1/4 of an inch off the ground. I could go higher, but I don't want to. I'm gonna pull my arms 1/4 inch off the ground. I could go higher, I don't want to, and I'm gonna live here for 30 seconds. And notice, the temptation might be to go here, but that's putting too much pressure on the low back. I just need to squeeze, get tight, and go up a little bit. And once again, I'm gonna hold for 30 seconds. The shoulders may get tired, the elbows may wanna flare up, but I'm gonna try to keep those guys straight, thumbs straight up at the ceiling. If I can work on both this hollow and arch body position, it's gonna improve my core strength, my ability to control my spine through flexion and extension, which are key aspects for my ability to run properly. Now, before I get into our third piece, which is gonna be on breathing, I wanna tell you about this 2 weeks of free programming, this little gift that we wanna send you on more run technique drills, on strength training that you can do, as well as some injury prevention and mobility challenges. We've all bundled it together, 2 weeks. We want to give it to you. All you need to do is click this link in this video. And if you're on a mobile device, there's going to be a link down in the description. Click that there. It's going to take you to the landing page where all you need to do is enter your name and your email address, and we'll be able to send you that little program. Now on to our breathing. Now, with our breathing, it's important in a lot of ways. One, we need the oxygen to deliver to our red blood cells so that all of a sudden we can keep our muscles firing and going. If we don't get that oxygen, we're gonna pass out. We're not gonna go very far. And the other thing is that proper breathing is crucial for our posture, for our hip position, for our good mechanics. And because our posture is not very good, a lot of times we live in this hunched over position. And I want you to notice what happens to my rib cage when I'm a little hunched over. When I'm a little hunched over, my rib cage collapses. This actually makes it very difficult for me to inhale through my lungs all the way. And when I can't inhale through my lungs all the way, I'm not able to activate my diaphragm to its fullest extent. My diaphragm is in charge for inflating those lungs, but my diaphragm is actually connected to my pelvis, and it's a way to stabilize my hips when I run. So basically, if I'm that person who's a little hunched over, I also may be that person who gets side stitches every once in a while on the run. Your diaphragm's freaking out because it doesn't know how to fire. So learning how to belly breathe, relearning how to belly breathe is the thing to do. That's the most important thing. We're gonna start with the most mellow form just by laying on our back. It feels good. It's a nice day out here in the bay. We've got this beautiful sun. I'm gonna put one hand on my chest. I'm gonna put one hand on my belly. I'm just gonna take a few breaths, and I'm just gonna bring some awareness here. Oh man, this feels good. Could stay out here for a while. A lot of us, as I said, we don't breathe very well into our belly. We just breathe into our chest and our shoulders, and we get very stressed up here. So the goal is gonna be to inhale and push out this belly hand as much as possible. So as I inhale through my nose, it's gonna be chest, mid-chest, belly. I'm gonna go. And then as I exhale, it's gonna be belly, mid-chest, chest. I wanna fully exhale. So inhale, exhale. And right now I could breathe through my nose, out through my mouth, just as a way to get this little rhythm going. Now, a challenge I like to do, it feels great to do this while all relaxed and chill on the ground, but I need to be good at doing this when I'm running. So one of my favorite little challenges is some nose breathing in the beginning and the end of my run. And you may want to first start with literally just 2 to 3 minutes, the first 3 minutes of my run and the last 3 minutes. Can I only breathe through my nose? Adjust your pace. If you need to walk, that's just fine. I'm going to tell you a few things. One, it's going to feel a little panicky at first. You feel like you're not going to get enough oxygen, and that's okay, and it's perfectly normal. The other thing, and the most important thing about it, is that these small airways actually are forcing your diaphragm to engage more to pull that much needed oxygen in. So basically, the nose breathing forces a conversation with your diaphragm that you haven't been having. It's a little scary at first, but once you start talking, you develop that pathway, that neuromuscular pathway, where all of a sudden you're able to engage and you're a little bit more fluent there. So belly breathing on your back feels really good. It's nice on a recovery day. Practice that for a while, bring some awareness there. Think about your breathing throughout the day in your work. Are you holding your breath in the car? Are you stressed? Can you breathe through that belly? And finally, can I bring a little nose breathing into my running? That's gonna make a huge difference. So our fourth tip is gonna be around our arm swing. It's really important to swing those arms, but we wanna swing them in the right direction in the right way. And before we get into that, it's important to understand why. Well, we actually run with our upper body a lot more than we realize. Even though most runners we picture have these skinny little chicken arms, those arms still serve a purpose and a function. And one of those things they really do is to help keep everything fluid and in motion and connected. And really our upper body acts a lot of way as a counterbalance to what's happening with our lower body and our legs. They're really actually in charge of helping regulate how much our body rotates and swings back and forth. So much so that when I start running slow, my arm's smaller. When I start running faster, the arm swing gets bigger. And then when you see sprinters out there, their arms are pumping a lot. Their arms are pumping as much as a counterbalance to the run as it is to anything else. That's what's going on. Now, the two common problems I see with most most arm swing is either an arm swing that's too stiff and doesn't move at all, or something where the shoulders are rotated in and it's too much swinging this way, and we see this upper body rotate. What I want to try to do with the arms is to separate the upper body from the shoulders. So I need this range, and sometimes even just being able to throw the arms back and forth this way. To have this range is so important. Once again, if I'm limited in my mobility and range of motion, it becomes very hard to independently swing this thing. So one way we're just going to practice this, other than just a few of these arm swings, which is a great way to warm up those shoulders and get them moving back and forth, is to actually exaggerate those arms. So I'm going to start with one arm forward and one leg forward and one leg back. And for 15 seconds, I'm just going to swing these arms. And at first, I don't need a lot of attention, just other than just to drive my elbows back here. It looks a little silly when you stand tall, but it's a great way to do this. And if you have that, can you start to exaggerate it a little bit more, and can you really pump those arms for those 15 seconds? Once you've got there, switch your feet, 15 seconds just with your other leg forward, just as a way of mixing it up. Same thing, start small and fluid and get bigger. Now notice that my arms aren't swinging up here, right? It's gonna be more of this elbow drive out the back. That is the biggest thing. So if I can start to add this little arm swing drill in when I start to run, I'm going to be able to keep those arms basically with this roughly 90-degree elbow in the swing. I should probably go over what the arm swing actually should look like. And as north-south as possible. It's normal for an arm to come across a little bit, but if I have this center line, I want to prevent my arms from swinging too far across this way. So it's going to be something like this. And some I've heard, like you have holsters in your pockets, so you're going to go kind of somewhere here to basically here, back and forth this way. So we're avoiding this, and then we're avoiding this as well with the arm swing. Our last and final, must know for a proper running form is going to be about picking those feet up off the ground. Our last things, we've started with posture, we've talked about strength and core strength, we've talked about breathing, we've talked about swinging those arms. Now, finally, we're talking about picking up those feet. But I did it in this order because I actually want to focus on all those other things first before I focus on what my feet are doing. And specifically, if I do all those things, my feet are going to actually naturally start to pick themselves up a little bit faster and a little bit better. So that's just one little thing to remember, the order of operations. Now, with the picking up of our feet up off the ground, the picking up of the feet up off of our feet up off the ground, I'm winning today. This is so great. What's really important to remember is this. When we talk about this pulling, what we're really talking about is our ability to run with a slightly higher turnover, a slightly higher cadence, the number of times my foot hits the ground in a minute. And what happens when our cadence is a little slow This is where we tend to overstride way out in front of us. This is where we tend to land heavier. This is where when we land heavy, our whole foot collapses in. When our foot collapses in, the knee collapses, and this is where I start to become open to all types of running injuries. So cadence is a great way to get a little bit more engagement out of the hamstrings and the glutes, to land lighter on the feet, to land everything more stable, and to run faster and more efficiently. So it's like the holy grail of all this running stuff we want to do is really in this pulling. And we're just going to work on it with 2 simple drills. You may have seen these before, but what's important to understand is how they all fit in. We're going to work on some sort of high knee, and we're going to work on some sort of butt kick, which is basically 2 aspects of this little drill where we sort of have that knee lift, that leg swings out the back, we have to recover that foot up high. So the high knee, I'm going to stand up tall, and I'm just going to work at 2 levels. One, I'm just going to do a little warm up high knee. It's not super high, but we don't want to go too crazy out the bat. I'm just here, I'm nice and tall. Notice your upper body's going to want to hunch, so you got to be tall here. And then can you really hit that 90-degree angle? So a little tip. Elbow here at this 90 degree, can I pick one knee up to one elbow, the other knee up to one elbow? Can I go all the way up high? That's a little truth checker. Make sure that's not quite the same thing, right? All the way up here, that's really key. Second one is gonna be this butt kick. I'm gonna go heels out the back, behind. Once again, do a round where the heels aren't super high, and then can I go hands behind? Can I kick up all the way? And if I work a couple rounds of high knees, a couple rounds of butt kicks in, let's say 3 rounds each of about 10 to 20 meters, that's gonna be really good for drilling in my ability to pick those feet up. It's gonna wake me up. It's gonna make that a lot more fluid when I go out the door. And if I can connect all those things together, I'm gonna be running on another level. Guys, one more thing, we have a free gift for you. We've bundled some of our favorite run technique drills that really make a big difference, as well as some strength training exercises that you can do at home to build that core, just to build that whole body, as well as some of our favorite go-to injury prevention exercises and mobility challenges. We've bundled it into a 2-week program. We want to give it to you. All you need to do to get it is click this link in this video. If you happen to be a mobile device, all you need to do is go to that description, the link down in the description below. Hit that, it's going to take you to a page. Once you're there, boom, name and email in there, and I'll be able to personally send you that little program. You're gonna love it. Also, if you love this video, let us know. Hit that like button. If you have any comments or questions on things we talked about, hit us up in the comments as well. And please, 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 if you want more of this content in your life around run strength, around beginner running form, around preparing for next 5K or marathon or anything, we have it all at The Run Experience. So definitely subscribe to The Run Experience on our YouTube channel. Guys, thanks again for watching. We'll catch you in the next video.